Okay, we got a no heat call. This is a next door neighbor to a customer of ours. So they have recommended us and we appreciate that. So let's go see why they have no heat. Okay, no staircase. It's got a hatch. And good Lord, look at that. Some people will do anything to get out of work. And they stuck this carrier unit on its back and stood it up. Now, it being an 80% furnace, it is probably honestly not going to hurt anything. However, it's very unlikely that the manufacturer's instructions condone that type of installation. But another issue is this gas line. So tight, it's going to be fun to get that door off. Wow. So they just made this sleeve here, transition if you want to call it that, to reach back to the original. So what was obviously here to begin with was one of the tall skinny 80% furnaces that used to be real long. And they just took the easy way out and stood the furnace up. Well, let's open it up and see why it's not running. It doesn't look that old, but yeah, I think this might need to be corrected, but let's see why there's no heat. Okay. Looks like we got one amber light steady on. I don't know what that means. And look at that. Maybe it didn't even have any screws to begin with. I don't think that was ever even up on here. I don't see any hole there where they ever screwed that on there. Tell you what, butcher, hack, sabotage, whatever you want to call it. This here is pretty bad. Pretty bad. I don't think this thing is showing any codes at all. Continuous on. Control has 24 volts power. So we're not getting an off or flashing. So I wonder if it'll start up. Gas is on. Power's obviously on. Let's go ahead and look in there. Okay, I heard the induced draft. Okay. burner, but with the exhaust the way we saw it, certainly not safe, and I am betting that's what's kicking the burner off. Let's go take a look. Might be something to do with that. I don't know if this thing's ever even operated. .34 is ignition proving failure. Okay. Ignition proving failure. Okay, so you sure do smell a bunch of raw gas when that thing this burner may not be designed to operate in that position. And I wonder if it could be as simple as the flame sensor being dirty or whatever, not working. But if I can't get that exhaust hooked up, I sure can't leave this thing on and running anyway, and I'm starting to think I don't want to regardless. It is not installed correctly as per the manufacturer's instructions. At least I don't believe so. And I don't think I want to be the one that left this thing running like this. I'm certainly not going to leave that flue that way, but let's pull the flame sensor out and look at it just out of curiosity while we're here and see if it'll stay burning. But this ain't looking good. Well, thank the Lord that Klein has a good magnet in their tool, because if you dropped it down in there, the screw or anything, you might just be out of luck. And I know it might not show it on camera, it might not look like it, but that thing is, I mean, just coated and corroded. No shine left to it. I'm gonna hear about this one. That's the only bill I got. I heard a lot of comments about me using a 50 before. Cleaning up pretty good. See if we can get some of that gold on it. I doubt there's any gold on that bill actually, but I think the old worn out, walled out, wadded up bills seem to clean better. Probably Probably a lot of cotton in the older bills. I don't know what a bill's made of actually. But she is slick as it can be now. Let's stick her back in there and see if that changes anything. I don't think that's a good idea. Whoever put this in like this really ought to be ashamed of themselves. Look at that. Well, that's one reason it's not designed to be mounted like that. Melting the insulator to the flame sensor wire. I guess it's making contact. I do not want to drop this screw. Really don't want to be doing any of this. And that heat has definitely been coming out and melting that plug on the end of the connector there. Now we got one short and two long. Blower on after power up, that's right, carrier. So this thing's gonna run 90 seconds and then the blower will shut off and it'll try to ignite. And we'll see what happens when it does. All right, here comes the induced draft again. I'm just curious if this will stay lit or what's going to happen. I'm not going to leave this thing on regardless. I'm just curious if that's all that was stopping it from proving flame and getting that error code. It appears that's all that was wrong, but with this leaking right there, I mean, I'm smelling gas. This is just awful. I guess once that pipe gets good and hot, maybe it'll start drafting better, but I don't think this combustion air, the way these burners work, is designed to have any positive pressure at all in this area. So I've found enough out about what I want to know. We're not going to leave this thing on. So we're going to offer to reinstall this furnace or sell them a new system, whatever they want to do. But I ain't going to leave this running. Let's go talk to the customer. All right, we're under the house now to look at the rest of what's here. The lady just bought the house, and I can see that someone has bought some of this type of insulation bats for walls and floors and wrapped it around pipe, wrapped it around the plenum. You know, whatever works. And there is the other ream furnace that was very similar to what was upstairs. So you can see how it's tall and narrow and long. So that's obviously what was in the attic, is a furnace just like that. So neither of the ACs have been replaced. They're original. The old all-style coils from the 90s. And there's the ABS drain line that I recognize from the ream store. J.L. Wynn and Sons that used to sell ream locally here. And the two ACs are sitting right outside there, and I saw them. They're definitely original. So this lady likely wants to change all of this at once. So I just thought I'd take a look and be able to speak intelligently when we talk about it. Down here is pretty typical. That deal up there in the attic's pretty bad. Rustic house. Pretty cool house, but needing some HVAC attention. Some new windows and trim and repair to some of the siding going on here. Like I say, it's a rustic house. It's definitely got personality. I like these kind of structures there. Pretty cool. Wood, you know, requires a lot of maintenance, staining, whatnot. All right, let's go talk to them about what we see.